Hi there, and welcome to today's live trading market update. I didn't really have a class today due to the short week, due to Thanksgiving week, and the low volatility of the markets. Actually, even the spreads in the currency markets were pretty wide. So, but nevertheless, I'm going to analyze the market fundamentals and show you where the market is at, and also if there's any potential trades that we could trade as of next week. In regards to the news, there is medium impact on Monday at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. New home sales and FOMC member Dudley is going to speak. These are Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday. Oh, wow, so the 28th to the 4th. So it's tentative. We have bank stress test results. So it's a high impact. That's very important. 10 in the morning, we have the CV consumer confidence. And then Bank of Canada, Governor Paul is going to speak. Then you have a financial stability report for New Zealand, for the Kiwi. And then Governor Spencer is going to speak right there too. So on Tuesday, Wednesday, we have OPEC meetings. So we're going to see some probably volatility in the Canadian currency. And also the US dollar, of course. You have preliminary GDP. And then we have Federal Chair Yellen is going to testify at 10 o'clock. Then you have crude oil inventories down to ANZ business confidence, private capital expenditure. Thursday, nothing much. There's one at 8:35 unemployment claims. And then Friday, the pound at 4:30 in the morning. Then 8:30, have a lot of Canadian news. 10 o'clock, ISM manufacturing PMI. So those are the major ones, but Wednesday is a tough one because of Yellen's going to talk right there, also the beat in the pound to the bank stress test. Okay, so be aware of those news. Okay, looking at the macro fundamentals and going through first the S&P. Notice after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of uncertainty, they don't know whether they should push the price to the upside, but because it's still an uptrend, hence it created new highs actually this week. Finish it off nice and strong. How far is going to go? Who knows? Okay, so odds and probability of continuation is highly still probable, but if not, stability will occur. Even looking at the monthly chart, where there are no November's not finished yet, but still very, very strong. And with Christmas coming, with the Christmas rally, odds and probability continuation further is more than likely to happen. Based on this very bullish candle right here, stability continuation. Notice it's running out of steam basically. But it's still pretty much a little bit of more volume despite being Black Friday. So I am still now a correction. That's where my focus is going to be, a correction before a continuation of price go to the upside. So medium to long term, of course, still very bullish. No sign of it failing right at this point in time. Okay, so that's the S&P. Let's look at the VIX. That is the volatility index of the S&P. Wow, okay, here we go. Created new lows today and new higher high, lower low though. And then came back up where it was, right there, back in level demand. So odds and probability either to create a new higher high or lower high. So I'm still very bullish once again with the VIX. That means that now I'm bearish with the S&P for short term in terms of a correction right before either a continuation. Looking at the Dow. Dow created new highs. Okay, so 23,622. And it actually surpassed a lot of Fibonacci levels right there. So how far it can go, this is actually, it all depends and dictating within the markets. So as a trader and similarly when teaching simply is to be an observer, just we're observing price. We're not being biased using our own perception. So but just by looking at the chart, the bulls are in control, buyers are still in control. So no one was going beyond the high though of 2 weeks ago, which is 6322, 23615, 23615, 23622. However, since it finished slowly, odds and probability will create new highs. Next week is highly probable. Now, if they don't want to, then this is going to come back down as a form of correction before it can continue. So medium and longer term, still very bullish. Shorter term, there's going to be some form of stability with a correction happening. All right, next, let's look at the dollar index. Dollar index finally followed suit. So there were a lot of divergence happening. You can see here you have a correction and continuation. I'm still bearish with the dollar index. If they go through, they need to test this low right here, 91.1. So I'm still bearish heading out of there. That might potentially create a new lower low, but if a higher low will form, then this is where I'm going to change my viewpoint within dollar. Weekly finished very strongly. Correction, lower high, either lower low, higher low. So to retest 91 is some level of demand. Daily time frame. Bearish today. Continuation in terms of momentum. Won't be surprised. Going to be some form of stability, correction before continuation. So once again, though, like I said, 91 is the target point. So I'm bearish with the dollar index. Let's look at oil. Oil has been very bullish with the finally everything is a lot of divergence for the past few months. Everything is currently in order at this point in time. Also still bullish with oil. Weekly finished really strong. It's heading towards $60 a barrel. And the daily, same thing, but it's running out of steam right there, right? So you can see in terms of momentum, stability, correction before a continuation. Let's look at gold. Looking at gold, stability before a continuation. I'm bullish with gold. If this finishes like this, you could finish even higher. So forecast in terms of projection is around 30.65 an ounce. Okay. And weekly stability, lower high, either a continuation of the momentum or it's going to come back down slightly as a form of correction before a continuation. And then daily time frame, nothing happening. So it's correcting itself. I'm bullish with gold. Looking at copper. Copper is bullish today. And the monthly is, forming pretty much a peak right there. So correction for continuation. So longer term, I am bearish as a form of a correction. Medium term, I am bullish to touch $3.25 right there. Higher low, either new higher high or lower high will form. Daily is bullish, heading towards the level of supply. And then with the 30-year yield, you have, interesting. So the yield was bullish today, 0.5%, whilst the dollar index was down. So I'm also bearish to with the 30-year yield. Okay, let's look at the monthly. Yep, bearish. Correction lower low. They need a proper higher low before this will continue to go to the upside. Weekly, also still bearish. It could go down to 270 potentially as a there's also a potential that the bills will come in. Okay, so that's the 30-year yield, and that's the macro fundamentals. Okay, let's look at potential trades in terms of the euro, the currency markets. The euro finished actually really strong today. Very bullish, 0.68%, 80 pips up. Since actually a correction, continuation, price to beat is around close to 121. So my focus is that it will break back to 120, heading towards 121. Monthly is currently very strong, correction, continuation. Weekly, also very bullish, correction, continuation. Price to beat is this, 120.92. So heading towards the supply level, 1920. Also about 180 pips to the outside. Okay, so that's a potential one since the dollar index is very bearish. Let's look at the pound. Okay, it has a lot of, the pound has a bank stress test next week. Looking very bullish though, potentially looking at 136. Okay, so that's the probability. Ooh, okay, I'm bullish with the pound, so that is definitely a good one to trade. If this would come back down a little bit to get a better price point, then it would be awesome. You can go to 132.50 level of demand before buying. But definitely I'm bullish. Okay, let's look at the Swiss franc. Swiss franc is bearish. At this point in time, lower low, potentially lower high. Okay, to create another new lower low, but I'm bearish with the Swiss franc. Weekly, also bearish, lower high, retest around 94.50, medium term, and in my opinion, some form of stability correction before a continuation to the downside. So the dollar Swiss is good for correction, for selling at supply levels. US dollar, Japanese yen, also bearish at this point. Look at the monthly time frame. There's a potential continuation of price to drop since the dollar index is weak. Weekly time frame is bearish. Area of demand though. So some form of stability correction before a continuation. They need a lot of sellers to push the price back down because there's also really strong bullish candle right there. Okay, daily time frame. Stability correction before continuation. So if the price comes back to 112, then it's good for selling. Alrighty. Stabilize itself actually today. It's very interesting that copper went up, gold is pretty stabilized itself. Finishes like this, decreasing in volume, decreasing in strength. I am bullish with the Aussie. Weekly, also bullish. Okay, after how many weeks that has been basically battered, new higher highs, still in an uptrend since 2016, whether I like it or not. Good demand level. It's a good low risk, high probability trade right there. So approach supply level, correction continuation, stabilize itself. Gold is pretty much bullish, likewise for copper, so this is also going to follow suit. Kiwi, had a lot of pressure. However, but the level demand, stabilizing itself, correction, they need to come back. It needs to come back around 74 per dollar before this will drop since a new lower has been formed. Okay, so everything here is a correction. Everything is still pretty much in uptrend too, whether we like it or not. Okay, so longer term, still bullish based on looking at it. Stability though, to medium term, I am bullish medium term. Have potential to at least come back around 72. Daily time frame, lower low from a lower high, so from a stability correction before a continuation to the upside. Price to beat is this one right here, 69.79. Last but not least, USD CAD. Let's look at the CAD. I'm bearish with CAD because of oil. I mean, so with the dollar. I'm bullish with the Canadian dollar, since oil is also very bullish. Month though just came back after this bullish candle. I think this is a correction. Yes, it's a lower low, but everything is a correction right there. There's a bullish candle. Weekly time frame, stability before continuation to the upside. Daily time frame, so stability before this bearish candle will follow suit. So I'm bearish for the dollar against the Canadian dollar. This is also good for selling from a level supply point of view. All right, so these are the majors against the US dollar and plus the macro fundamentals. Good luck with that. Just be aware as well. Everything has just been way too inflated. However, it's not the right time yet, but when the time comes, then it's good to be a contrarian. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend. And December 8th, I'm doing a workshop on how to define entries and exits. So if you can make it, look forward to seeing you there. Take care and happy trading.